Today is November 26th, and the Yankees have an offer in for Soto, but what if he doesn't accept it? This is the non-Soto plan.
Talking Yanks with old Jomboy, Jomboy and Jake. Recaps galore, weekly awards, stat lines, theme, and hot takes. Get your Yankees news from these two fine dudes. It's time for Talkin' Yanks. Talking Yanks with old Jomboy, Jomboy and Jake. Talking Yanks with old Jomboy, Jomboy and Jake.
Hello and welcome to Talkin' Yanks. My name is Jimmy. His name is Jake. BBD in the corner, brought to you by SeatGeek, where you can use code YANKS15 for 15% off. How about that? What if Soto leaves? I guess he's already left. What if he doesn't come back? What if Soto doesn't return? That's the big question. What if Soto doesn't return? We already did an episode where we gave you our offseason plans, including Soto coming back. And then you guys submitted your plans within the regulations of the game. This episode is if he does not return, what do you do? I built a plan. Jake built a plan. You guys can build a plan, and maybe we'll react to it later. Or maybe by then he just signs, and then we know the reality. Jake, did you have fun doing this exercise?
James, Davis, yes and no. If the Yankees don't get Soto, they're going to need that SeatGeek code Yanks15 for a couple transactions because it's not clean, man. And that's why you asked the question, and I was laughing when you were doing a little video to promo this episode that there's not a right answer. Like I almost need the listeners when you comment your Soto alt plans, like put your weapons down. Like this isn't going to be a clean exercise. There's not a ton of right answers. Like you got to take some risk, you got to take some chances, you got to do a couple moves you don't feel great about to kind of land the ship. And yeah, at first I was excited because I was like, okay, wait, I've got an extra $45 million to play with? I'm going to load up, Pat. I'm Joe's McFly. And then you do it and you're like, okay, so I got two players I don't like as much as Soto.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm interested to see where you go with it. You can still you can make a more boom or bust team, but that's scary. It's something like having 40 home runs and a 450 on base in your lineup who plays every day.
Yeah.
Is kind of nice.
I thought it was going to be a fun exercise at least. Oh, I got all this money to spread out to 2 and 3 year deals now. Who do we get? Who do we get? And then I started doing that, and I was like, I don't like this plan. So I kind of pivoted a bunch. I had so many names down on this sheet. What we should talk about before I give you my plan, which is very
avant-garde.
No, what I do want to some updates for you. John Birdie and Tim Meza, they non-tendered both of those guys. So Meza, the $4 million, we thought he wouldn't get that. John Birdie, they also non-tendered him. He was set to make $3,800,000, $3.8 million. That one we didn't have on our brains, and then one of the commenters said I'm non-tendering Birdie because he's got a bunch of injuries and he's old and he didn't even really play. And you and I both were like, yeah, that's okay. That makes sense.
That's actually an easy one. Okay.
Yeah, we kind of thought that the Yankees liked him, and when he was out there, he contributed. But yeah, I mean that's money you can use elsewhere, and in the Soto exercise especially, I think part of it, I think the penny pinching trade Yankees of yesteryear have to come out. You kind of have to every transaction almost shave a little bit off. And John Birdie, yeah, we can get that elsewhere.
And that's what they did with Grisham. According to the charts and the websites we were using, he was set to make $5.7 million. They agreed just $5 million.
Him
$5
and
million.
Brubaker took haircuts.
Yeah, Grisham was set to get about 5.7. Who knows how arbitration would have exactly gone. He took 5, and there's incentives in there based on plate appearances that he could get $50K each. He didn't get anywhere near those thresholds last year, but if he plays a lot this year, he will get there.
And the other options, which we did have, like someone who submitted an offseason plan, he non-tendered everyone, but they did tender Trevino, Nestor, everyone else.
Yeah.
A contract on the books. So that's the money you're working with. And then we also have the parameters that you have to be around 300 mil because Hal said payroll will be very similar than it was last year. And it's just easier so we don't go into like, I'll just sign everybody.
Right.
And then trades come into play. I don't know if you kept your same trades from last time. I didn't because Soto was a factor of some of my trades. Right. But yeah, trades come into play as well. So those are a lot of the factors that go into it. Now, before I give you my plan, which I don't stand by, like if anyone's shit-talking my plan or like Jomboy's plan sucks, I'm going to be like, okay, yeah. My plan's Soto.
Let's put the weapons down.
Yeah, weapons down.
There's not a ton of winning today.
Yeah.
This episode is us losing an inner circle Hall of Famer.
It's an exercise so people understand the thought processes that might be going on within,
the Yankees need a plan.
Within the Yankees for this. So, a quick break, and then I'm going to give you my plan.
Let me tell you about LinkedIn. When you're hiring for your small business, you want to find quality professionals that are right for the role. That's why you have to check out LinkedIn Jobs. LinkedIn isn't just a job board. LinkedIn helps you find professionals you can't find anywhere else, even those who aren't actively searching for a new job, but might be open to the perfect role. In a given month, over 70% of LinkedIn users don't visit other leading job sites. So if you're not looking on LinkedIn, you're looking in the wrong places. 86% of small businesses get a qualified candidate within 24 hours. Hire professionals like a professional on LinkedIn. We've used LinkedIn Jobs to help round out our roster here at Jomboy. Kind of like what we're doing. You should give it a try. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/Yanks. That's linkedin.com/Yanks to post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply. There's a link in a description. Go check out LinkedIn.
Here we go. Jake, some thoughts I had before developing my plan.
Sure.
Was, okay, I want to get to around 300 mil, but I can't give out. There's no one. I need money off the books next year, right? So I didn't want to. I needed some 1-year deals in my plan. Not it couldn't all be 2 and 3 year deals, or all go like some people would be thinking. Go get 4 people on 5-year deals. Like go get Burns, Fried, Teoscar, and just all on 5-year deals.
Boom.
Well, then you're fucked for the next time a big free agent comes. You need money. You need like 30 mil coming off every year.
Right.
And the Yankees will have Grisham coming off. They'll have Stroman coming off. Nestor will be coming. But it's not that much that's already set to come off. So I was like, so I need some 1-year deals.
Next year, they don't really have the big contract coming off.
But then I texted you guys, and I looked at it, and I was like, okay, well, if they're saving for money coming off next year, who can they use that to go get? Next year's free agency is not really anything. Offensively, you got Vladdy and Kyle Tucker
as like the big money position players that like, okay.
Yeah, I mean, those guys are
There'll
going
be
to get
somebody's
bags.
plan
Yeah, yeah.
Those guys are going to get
but
close to 300 mil, if not more.
yes, but that's 2 guys.
Yeah.
And the pitchers, there's a lot of arms out there, but I don't think the likes of Burns or Fried or an ace. You had Gallen, Monty. I forget. I texted some others. They're like B+, A- guys.
I think the pitching is nowhere as close. The depth of the pitching and the talent of the pitching this year is pretty damn good. And the hitting, let's see how it sorts out. Like Vladdy really boosted his stock that Vladdy could get. If he has another year like he had last year, he could be 400 mil.
Yeah.
And then like him and Kyle Tucker, that's, I think for a normal free agent class, that's not an awful headliner.
So I was like, oh, next free agency isn't really much. So I still want money coming off the books for wiggle room, trades, all that, but I don't need to have like 40 mil in 1-year deals coming off. I don't know. There's the guy from Japan, the third baseman. Maybe he gets big money. So that kind of, my early plans then changed To give you one right away, I'm still going after Christian Walker.
Sure.
I still want him at first base.
Okay.
20 mil is what they're guessing his AAV will be. I kept it at that. If you go to my tab on the sheet, I changed it to a toggle down. So like if they don't get him, then they get Paul Goldschmidt, then changes to 15 mil.
Sure.
So it was easier math. But I want Walker as a number one option. You need Thump in the lineup. You need Thump in the lineup. I don't know how this works out, but I got Santander. Because he's a switch hitter, so he can be in that, 3, 4, 5 area, helps the lineup out. He's just Thump though. He's not really crazy pop, but the OBP isn't amazing. The average isn't amazing, and the defense isn't spectacular. So it's kind of like Soto light.
It's a
very, because Soto obviously has the average and the on base.
It's a knockoff Soto, but you very much see the differences.
But
it's not like I bought the CVS brand of this mouthwash and it's the same. It's like, oh no, this is very different.
Very different. But I didn't really. I liked that for the offense a lot. Switch hitter, put him in the middle there, got pop. I don't like if Soto's not coming back, then I want Judge in right field.
Right.
But Santander stops that. But there was no plan out there that didn't stop that. So, and you'll notice Santander, if I don't get him, then you can go to Profar, who they're saying he'll get 15. Similar boat. He does have on base percentage last year and most years.
Broke out, so there's a chance if that's real, you're getting him for a discount.
But you need someone in the outfield to help. I'm still doing my trade for Helsley and JoJo Romero.
Oh, nice.
Just because I didn't want to have to rethink it. And I want cheap relievers, and Helsley's $7 million, but it comes off the books. Right. So I like that aspect of it. My big development was if they don't get Soto, and I wasn't on this until a half hour ago, I want them to go get Burns or Fried. I don't like any of the long-term 5-year offensive plans that would lock down someone for too long. These type of pitchers, bona fide aces, aren't available next year. And the AL East wants these guys. So it's almost play blockage and get it. And when you go to the postseason, go get me another 1-2. Because I was spreading this money out amongst other areas that I was I don't care. This doesn't matter to me.
Right.
And then the one thing, Talkman, you see there, if you watch on YouTube, I'm trading Grisham and getting Talkman because they are similar profile guys, but Talkman's better defensively, cares outwardly more, not like a couch potato. And Talkman is an on-base percentage guy. I'm so worried about leadoff. Without Soto and Glaber, who the fuck is their leadoff hitter? They have no options at all. They didn't have one last year. Glaber stepped up. Right. So I was looking around the league. Talkman was great leadoff. He had 380 on base percentage. I don't think that's an amazing plan. This is where you can rip my plan. But if he's the bench guy, at least I think Talkman offers more. He can do this than what they used Grisham for last year. And you could even start him and let Dominguez play his way. Or have him on the bench and Dominguez as the starter and left, whatever you want to do. But that was the one find where I was give me more guys like that and go get me Burns, Fried, Walker. And this says Profar, but I wanted Santander. I have 12 million left, and I kind of was I don't know, man.
Santander, does that number change for Santander?
Oh, it was supposed to. It did on my end.
It just changed.
Oh, yeah. So
slight delay.
Yeah, I don't love it, man. If you slide over, I have Talkman, Judge, Santander, Stanton, Wells, Walker, Jazz, Volpe, Oswaldo, Durbin.
Oh wow! So you're coming into the season with a Talkman, Dominguez, and an Oswaldo Durbin.
Yeah, probably Dominguez over Talkman. He'd be the bench piece over Grisham.
Right. Talkman's more so insurance.
Yes, I just like him in Grisham's role better than Grisham.
Right,
and he's
cheaper. And he's cheaper.
Cheaper for the same gig.
Yeah, I think his numbers are better. And he played all of the last 2 years.
Yeah.
Cubs used him.
Anyway, that's not the major talking point here. The major talking point was I'm going after another pitcher, even though our rotation is fine and Cole and Rodon, you have big money invested in the rotation already. Young pitchers are harder to come by. They cost more, and block another team from getting them and lock it up. Like if you go into the postseason, you have Cole and Burns as your 1-2, you should feel much better than not having that if you don't have Soto.
I mean, man, if, I hope there's some other teams tuning into this because, this is our backup plan, emergency panic offseason. And it's like, okay, Santander hit 44 homers last year. Burns and Fried have some splits that you can chop up that are incredible. Christian Walker is one of the prize free agents of this class that I can see other teams laughing at this. That, yes, I mean, this is one of the ways to go. Santander, man, I just get scared.
Me too. I don't love him.
The defense is tough.
I don't.
And you're doing the Yankees shooting yourself in the foot defensively that our outfield, we have no clue.
Yeah, I know. And I went to
you do have pitchers that are studs. Like Cole, if it's Burns or Fried, and if it's, Heel or Rodon, like those are guys that on a given day don't need a ton of defense when they're right. So, like, that can be the other spin zone on that.
That's where I landed. Like, well, just go bulk up here if that's available to you. I don't love the Santander part and Profar. I don't like, but the other option was going to your trade for Luis Robert. But if we're not signing Soto long term, I want to keep Dominguez and Jones and see who wins out and see who can be the long term guy that we have for cost controlled years. I don't want to trade one of those if I don't have Soto locked up for 10 years. So I couldn't find a way to get the outfield done. And I hate I need Judge and Wright.
Yeah.
But then you need a center fielder. And then it's very hard.
It's very hard.
And if I'd be fine with letting Dominguez play, but I'm much more fine letting Dominguez play if I know Soto's in the lineup.
Right.
And we're not leaning on him.
Right.
So every aspect of this was like, dude, Soto covers up so many things. He allows them to let Dominguez get full run and be a kid at the bottom of the lineup and no pressure, and like learn from him.
There's so much less risk.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think that's been one of the funny things looking back on this Yankee season is like, okay, Judge and Soto cooked. We got 2 months of good Glaber. We got 3 months of good Wells and Stanton intermittently. And everything else was just kind of like not great. So it's like if you have a Jazz month, if you have Judge and Soto, with the lineup, you can take a lot of risks. You need a couple more months you need a couple of those risks to pan out, like out of the Verdugos from last year, out of Volpe, out of all that stuff. And maybe they do, maybe they don't. But yeah, I mean, if the Yankees come in with that rotation, that's a pretty exciting place to be. It's a lot of money invested in a rotation. I mean,
ton.
Cole,
and they're all going to get old.
Burns and
like
Rodon.
That was the other thing I was looking at. Like, okay, so at the back end of this, we have Cole through 38, we have Rodon through 36, and then you're going to have Burns or Fried through 38. And they're all going to be in the same rotation getting a ton of money. And the money changes as you go. And, Stanton's $22 million to the AAV doesn't look big now.
Feels different.
Because Cole would leave before those. But you'd still have Rodon and one of your new aces. They'll be 37 on the staff at the same time, age-wise, right?
Yeah, and Cole will be a year older.
So
Cole might be gone the last
2 years older.
You still dump Stroman?
Yeah, I dump Stroman. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and Nestor could be traded or could come back if you get Fried or Burns, or could be a swing man, or they figure that out as spring training goes. Yeah, and then bullpen I added Helsley and Romero. You can bring Tim Hill back with the money remaining.
Always.
Yeah.
Got room.
That's everyone can put that in their offseason plan.
Yeah. For anyone who didn't watch the last offseason plan episode, can you remind them the full Romero Helsley trade?
Oh, I don't think I even mapped it out. It was just go get Helsley and Jojo Romero. Jojo Romero is right up the Yankees' alley. He's actually a little better, but they've traded for lefty relievers with 3 years remaining a couple times now. And with Wandy, it surely worked out. With Victor Gonzalez, it did not.
Nope.
But
Ferg.
and Ferg. But Helsley's a closer, 1 year left, and I don't care who they take besides Jones, Dominguez. I don't go grab Will Warren or whatever matches up. Like
Right.
I would say the people that are experts on this, which is no one. Dominguez, Jones, I don't want to trade.
Right. That's a key part to this plan. If you're going to do this plan, you want to keep Dominguez and Jones because you need one, if not two of them to pan out in the next couple years.
And then you don't have much capital to
Transition.
make a big trade.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
At the end, well, you'll do yours, and then we should talk about all the who I didn't grab and you didn't grab because there's a lot of names that everyone else is out there
There's
just
a lot
going
of different
and
plans
grabbing.
you could
Yeah.
chop this up.
But yeah, basically, if they don't get Soto and then they don't get Burns or Fried, I don't love the offense nor the rotation moving forward for like a World Series on the World Series level on a regular season, winning the division, competing over 162.
Sure.
Obviously,
Get to the playoffs.
I think they're there, but that like boom, pow, punch, Judge and Soto at the top were that. They needed defense and Judge to do it in the postseason. Obviously, that didn't work. But that's where I landed. That was like my final conclusion. I don't care if you like the plan or don't like the plan. I don't really like it. But it was, hey, if we're not going to get Soto, go lock up another stud pitcher for the next 3 years.
Right.
And like really attack the next 3 years. So that was the main takeaway I had.
Okay. Do you want me to comment? Should I go to my plan? How do you do it?
Let's go to your plan.
Okay.
Quick ad. Jake's plan. It's that time of year. Black Friday and Cyber Monday deals are in full swing. Mando's 72-hour formula keeps you fresh even on those nonstop days. While you're juggling gift lists, long lines, and family gatherings, Mando's got you covered. No reapplying necessary. Made by a doctor, Mando is science-backed for real odor control, not some gimmick. Mando's low pH formula actually stops odor before it starts, rather than just covering it up. Mando's starter pack is perfect for new customers or to secure some last-minute stocking stuffers. It comes with a solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice like mini body wash and deodorant wipes, and free shipping. Right now, through Cyber Monday, you can get up to 30% off bundles. Head to shopmando.com to shop their sale. That's shopmando.com. And when they ask, please support our show and tell them we sent you. Don't let the holiday stress get you sweating this season. Your family and friends will thank you.
Okay. Class is in session. So, we've missed out on Juan Soto. Damn.
Boo.
Really tough. You're having a bad day. Where do we go? For me, we need a whole new game plan, man. Like, I still have us getting Soto, but like you said, with next year's free agency, there's not a ton on there. It's not like, hey, that's our next Juan Soto. Vladito, but no thanks. I don't think he wants it here. I don't think we want him here. No offense. I think he's great. I think he bounced back. I still need to change more to the lineup. I know Judge and Soto's awesome. If we don't have that, we saw how thin the second half of our lineup became. I've been on a lineup kick. The Dodgers were so deep. Going the Phillies, a lot of the recent teams, when the Orioles were playing well, they were deep. That I need to do a lot to the lineup. So, I am going out and I'm signing Alex Bregman.
Oh, really?
So, with that, I am making my infield defense better. I've got Bregman and Volpe on the left side. That's really strong. Yankee Stadium doesn't help Bregman necessarily. Doesn't hurt him. Looked at his homer chart from last year. 26, if he played at Yankee Stadium, would have been 26. And I think the whole thing would be changing a lot of the mentality. Like, Bregman brings it every day. man, every at bat that guy is nails. He's top 1% in K rate. So he doesn't strike out. He plays fantastic defense. He brings an intensity to it. He's already pretty clean shaven, so I don't have to worry about that. And for him, it's the final chance to like end his heel. Like Alex Bregman was supposed to be star of the league, young stud player on Houston. Obviously, everything that went down there. It ends. He's kind of part of the bad guy WWE Houston Astros. They finish things over there. It's kind of gone. It's kind of finished. If he comes to the New York Yankees and brings them a World Series, everything's gone. Alex Bregman's king of the world again. So I put him in for $25 million a year. I think that's around the projections, whether it's going to be 5 or 6 years. Obviously would lean 5. The other thing I want to get out there, I've decided I'm officially out on Christian Walker. He's old, man.
How old is he?
He's turning 34 for opening day. So, like, we just did this with DJ, with Rizzo and Donaldson, that I can't do Christian Walker.
That is old.
Bregman turns 31 for opening day, and you get that, you know, for whatever Bregman, Christian Walker money or comparison you want to throw around. A, give me Bregman's resume, and B, I get 3 years of Bregman before he hits Christian Walker's current age. And I get a Gold Glover at third base. And Bregman talked about he's willing to play second base or whatever. Maybe that's a later in the career thing. I'll take him at third base. Him and Volpe over there, that's some really strong defense. Jazz goes to second. And I really like my defensive infield, man.
Who's at first? We got to get there?
We'll get there. So Bregman is the splash, and it's like, oh my God. And remember all the conversations we did about Correa letting the big bad wolf in? Correa had a little more WWE going on. And
Bregman did before it happened. He
right.
was.
He got nipped
He liked
in the
being
bud.
the villain before it was real.
Correa had the worst ankles in history in his free agency. I don't know, man. Bregman is also not coming off a career year. Which, again, you could spin that both ways. His numbers landed in a very fine spot and close to Alec Bregman, but he had a slow start, and it looked like contract year stuff. He kicked into gear. And the thing that I thought was weird, his walks did go down, which is a little concerning. But that whole Astros team, Jimmy, you know, their whole approach was like, we're not walking.
Yeah, they didn't see a lot of pitches at all.
They attacked the ball, and Bregman's one of the best contact hitters in baseball. So I think that was more so mentality than skill
I do have
set.
an update for you.
Okay.
His home games last year, he would have added 4 homers at Yankee Stadium that were not homers.
Look at that. That's pretty good.
Maybe. According to this, they don't take wind and effect.
Yeah, I
but
know.
I just watched them, and 2 of them, yes, that would have been gone. That would have been porched.
Yeah, I was going through. I just wanted to leave it equal just to take it out of it. But yes, Bregman out. He has the Crawford boxes, which are a safety net, but the short porch, he can go that way. Willie Adames does have power that way. Willie Adames kind of coming off a career year, and his value comes from playing shortstop. And I think he's going to get paid more, and I don't want another Yankee situation where we might have a better shortstop playing third base.
When I did this, I took out shortstop, like all my filters, just because I can't have that possibility.
Can't be a discussion.
Yeah.
So Bregman over Adames, you might be getting a better player, you might be getting a better price, and just the attitude that the Yankees need. Like, Bregman is a baseball dog. So give me that mentality. So Bregman at third. I have him at $25 million. This is where things get a little funky, and I'm not as proud of the exercise, kind of like we talked about. For me, if the Yankees miss out on Juan Soto, things become kind of a 2-year plan. And part of that 2-year plan, we are trading for Cody Bellinger. Cody Bellinger, the Cubs are trying to move off of. He is making $26 million, and I believe he has a player option for the next year as well. Cody Bellinger, obviously a lefty pull swing. We were interested in Cody Bellinger previously. And he allows you flexibility throughout the season. He can play center field. He can play left base. left base. He can play center field and left base, left field and first base, which all of these are kind of needs for the Yankees right now. I do currently have him slotted in as the left fielder. I have Cody Bellinger coming in and playing left field, taking on the left field burden, getting great defense out there. The Yankees could become, I forget what year was it. What year were the penny pinching Yankees fully out? Was that 2021?
2021 with
that
Odor.
was Odor. Wasn't there a year when every trade they did, the other team ate their money too? Was that 21?
21 was the year they got Rizzo and
Yeah.
all that.
And they
So
made
that
the
was that
Cubs
year.
eat their money. Like
Threw in a better prospect to get them to eat the money.
I think you could see the Yankees doing some of that, whether it's like $5 million for Bellinger, like little things like that to give yourself a little bit of buffer and sign an extra reliever. But I think you can get Cody Bellinger for a not expensive prospect package, whether that's 2 guys or whatever. So I'm bringing Cody Bellinger to play left field now.
You don't mind that he's never played left field, really?
No, I mean, he's played center field at an elite level.
I know, but we saw that not translate with Gallo and others.
Gallo didn't play center field at an elite level.
I guess so.
Or at a good level.
He had center field experience, but he's an elite right fielder.
Yeah. So no, I'm not too worried about that. I mean, Cody Bellinger is a really gifted athlete too. Like, he plays first base. I
agree with you.
He
There's
some
something
left
weird
field
about
as a
left
rookie.
field.
Like,
Judge wouldn't go over there for 5 years. It's fucking weird.
yeah, I don't know if that was Yankees or Judge. He played 1 inning there last year, so pretty big.
Yankees treat it, or it is weird.
Yeah, I have no concerns about Cody Bellinger athletically, defensively being able to handle left field at the stadium. And hey, if it is a problem, he can play center field, which I currently have open, and this was my flex spot. I will make my decision because that's what you have to do as the GM. But basically, I have one more major transaction. I did bring back Carlos Santana.
At first?
At first base, to have him have first go at it. So again, your infield defense should be elite. Santana won the Gold Glove last year. Jazz going back to second base. Anthony Volpe, Gold Glove winner. Alex Bregman, Gold Glove winner. We've got an infield.
Yeah.
Okay? And as I mentioned in the previous plan episode, I don't love the first base options, and I want to find out more about Ben Rice. I'm not saying he's the solution, but if you're in the Durbin Hive or any prospect at all, like what Ben Rice has done at the minor league level, we haven't really seen from a prospect in a little bit. So Carlos Santana mauled against lefties last year. You can give him full run. He gets on base, plays good defense, but you have Ben Rice ready to go in the minor leagues. Now, with kind of my remaining bigger move, it's going back to the Luis Robert trade that I had in my first exercise, which I am, I'm having a Spencer Jones or Dominguez in there. Probably Spencer Jones we're leaning amongst the prospect package. Or do I get a pitcher to reinforce the staff? I'm doing the Luis Robert trade again.
Wow.
So Spencer Jones is there. A couple other prospects, Stroman as a full or partial dump. And that leaves my Yankee lineup as, it's easier to go around the horn. So I have Wells and Trevi as my catchers. I have Carlos Santana with a Ben Rice emergency plan at first base. I have Jazz at second. I have Volpe at short, Bregman at third. In the outfield, Bellinger in left, Luis Robert in center, Aaron Judge in right, and Stanton at DH. So not only have I put together a really strong lineup, I believe, a couple of these guys are going to have good years, a couple of these guys are going to have bad years. But if a couple of these guys have good years, this lineup can be really deep, really professional at bats. And the defense, Cody Bellinger has won Gold Gloves. Luis Robert can cover ground with the rest of them. Judge goes back to right field. So I feel like I've bolstered the lineup. I feel like I've made the defense great. The pitching, I wasn't really able to reinforce. You can still make there's a little bit of budget there to make some savvy moves. And again, if the Cubs were to take $5 million of Belly or something like that, that allows you to go get. I had Mike Soroka in my last exercise. Cal Quantrill has, since we first did this exercise, he was released by the Rockies. He threw some innings last year, and he has the same arm angle as Luke Weaver. So I think the Yankees, especially after the Luke Weaver exercise and the past couple years, they believe in their bolstering of the bullpen. I would still love for them to get one or two even semi-bona fide guys, a Leclerc or something like that you has shown he can do it for a full season. But yeah, I went for lineup and defense with some risk amongst the pitching.
I mean, I like your plan. I don't like the pitching. I don't like the lack of pitching. I just wonder if I like it down the road.
Well, that's where there's also a little bit of flexibility. Like Bregman is going to be 5 or 6 years, so that becomes part of your team.
What, you have him at 25?
25. That's kind of the projected.
Let's see.
And then with Bellinger and Robert, I have 1 to 2 year flexibility. Like Robert, there's a team option for next year. Belly has a player option for next year, and that would be their 2 seasons, or Robert has a potential.
Robert
for 3.
could be as
Robert
long
could be
as
3.
3
But
years.
you control that.
Bellinger's the maximum is 2 years, whether he wants to opt out or not.
So that's the thing. I left myself a little bit of flexibility there. I kept Dominguez in this exercise as Luis Robert insurance because he has gotten banged up.
I don't think you need Robert if you're trading for it, if you get Bregman and Belly.
Well, that's the thing. You could keep Dominguez. You can give him left field, have Belly play center.
Yeah.
And then with the Luis Robert money, you can go out and get a pitcher. So that is the other way to go with it.
I think I'd like that plan the best.
Yeah.
Or just relief.
But you
help.
can't get yourself a true guy. Like you're on the next tier of free agents. Like you're looking at bringing back Sevy or something like that.
How much would, if you take away Robert?
So he gets paid $15 million.
Yeah.
So you don't really, you could potentially get an Evaldi.
If you say yes to the options, it's $8 million AAV.
For what?
I don't know. Luis Robert. Like his AAV on is listed at $8 million right now.
Is that coming from last year?
I think it's just because the club options exist. So like potentially if you say yes to them, it changes.
I think his club options are for more.
His club options are for $20 million. Yeah.
Yeah, he's $15 million next year, 20 and 20.
Yeah. But they have his AAV 8.3 hit.
Okay. It's what I said when I was doing the end of the exercise. You have
That's because the earlier terms of his contract were lower. When you're trading for a guy,
you
in
get
new
the remainder?
CBA, it's whatever's left.
So would you get the options, or does that not come into play? That would be like if you take on the option, then it's a straight hit of $20 million.
I believe because these are club options, how those would work is each of those years it's just a straight up 20.
That makes the most
So
sense.
it's so it would go up
15.
to 15.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's basically the decision there is do we go super defense, super lineup, and get Luis Robert, or do you bolster the pitching? And hey, that brings
Between Bregman, Bellinger, and Judge, you have created a 2017 drama.
Yeah, you like that?
Yeah. That's cheater's delight.
I'm here for a click. They're all in the club. We all fam, you know?
If Bregman wasn't tied to like the Astros and all of that, I'd be so in on him. I mean, you look at his baseball reference and you look at the Yanks' need for help on the corners anywhere. So like you could sway me into that, especially like I really want to bring in people that have won the World Series. Like I was trying to get Nathan Evaldi in there really bad.
Playoffs.
I was trying to bring playoffs lines.
A lot of defense, a lot of grind.
I've been reading all these books. I've been reading the Yankee Way. Obviously, I was reading another book about the old school Yankees, and they traded Luis Soho. They got rid of Luis Soho, and he went to the Marlins, I think, or the Pirates.
Where'd Soho go? I'm blanking.
Check it out.
I remember this, though.
But,
It made me sad.
It was Bernie Williams' wife. Pittsburgh. He went to Pittsburgh. In the book, I think it's a Buster only book. Bernie Williams' wife went to Cashman and said, "You need to go get Luis Soto back. He does so much for this clubhouse and like they're like where he was like the soul
He was the
of us.
guy. He was the king.
And then Soto said when he went to Pittsburgh, he was like, these guys have no idea what it takes to win. It's not even in their, the way it was said, these aren't the exact words, it wasn't even in their understanding that they're not playing winning baseball.
Right.
Is that they're not doing the things a winning team does. And just been reading all these old stories about that. And obviously journalists and writers love narratives more than stats and facts, which is like the greatest divide in sports. But there's some truth to that where like I wanted to go get people that have won, have done it, and Bregman adds to that. So does Bellinger. So I like that. The Robert plan I don't need because the injury history I don't like. I think if you get those two guys, use that money on starter relief or starter help or something.
Yeah.
And then I'd go. So I like your plan more than mine, but I would take out the Robert.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very open to it because if you keep out the Robert part, you can bolster the pitching and you keep Dominguez and Jones, which again with the belly part of this and kind of that 1 to 2 year planning you're talking about, that leaves your two chips with the most opportunity to turn into something available. So I'm open to that. I guess for me it's just like
you go get Walker Buehler, 1 year deal.
Kind of what we're talking about though, the
Tanner Scott for the bullpen.
The window of it, man. Like the emergency of it that we still don't really feel, but like Cole getting older, Judge getting older. Like we do this every now and then that I don't know. I think the Yankees have proved they could tap into pitching. You could trade. You're more likely to be able to trade for pitching at the deadline than a locked up hitter. And like Robert could be extreme value. Like Robert could be your leadoff hitter. Robert could be a lot of things for this team. He could not. And that's why you'd have the Dominguez insurance, but
he's kind of, and this is no knock, and this is all narrative.
Sure.
He's kind of been birthed into uncompetitiveness.
So is Jazz.
Yeah, and Jazz sucked in the playoffs.
Yeah, he
till the last 2 games or so.
His approach
and didn't really have the mindset the whole way. But I'm not knocking Jazz.
You have to get to the playoffs, feel that, and that's how
short window though.
You get better.
I'd rather guys that are going to come in and just be like, I know what to do here.
Yeah.
Follow my lead. Soto had won as well.
Right.
He was pretty good.
Very good.
So I do like your plan better than mine. I think Bregman was just a mental block on me, but yeah, shoring up a infield spot.
I guess that's if the Christian Walker hive, which has become strong and like his numbers are really good and he plays Gold Glove defense, but Christian Walker, I think the past 3 years, his WAR has gone down. Like in 2022, he was 5 WAR. In 2023 is 3.8 WAR. In 2024 is 2.6 WAR. Now part of that's because of injury, but isn't that what we're talking about? Like he's going to be 34. Bregman's been a 4 WAR player the past 3 seasons. He's on a borderline Hall of Fame career. That if I'm giving out the 22 to Christian Walker or whatever his contract lands at, I'd rather give the 25 to Bregman.
Yeah, Bregman and Santana shores up the infield.
And, like, do you have to worry about Bregman playing in New York? Like, in a way, you have to worry about everyone a little bit, but no. Like, Christian Walker, again, like, no offense, but if Christian Walker comes out, has a bad April, May,
yeah,
and he's 34, like,
right,
that starts getting dark quick.
All right, well, I'm going to ask you a question that combines the Soto and the non-Soto plan once I catch my breath.
Huzzah. Getting some holiday shopping done this weekend? How about you pick up some touchdowns? They're on sale at the DraftKings Sportsbook. Wow. DraftKings has doorbuster profit boosts and bet one, get one promotions on all types of touchdown bets. And get even closer to the action each Sunday with our partners at the DraftKings Sportsbook. Grab some TDs. Careful. With DraftKings, they're on sale Thanksgiving through Cyber Monday. How about that? Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code YANKS to opt in. That's promo code YANKS only at DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gobble, gobble, gobble. DraftKings.
Gobble, gobble, gobble. Now you've got me thinking, Jake.
Okay.
Is there a world
Yes.
We have to combine spreadsheets here where the Soto, Bregman, Santana plan all exists in one.
Is butt cheeks one word, or do you have to spread them?
Oh.
Okay. That was on the internet this weekend. Everyone's funny now.
Do you get what I'm saying?
How are we spreading them?
Like Juan Soto, 46 mil, right?
Oh, so he's back.
That's what I'm combining plans.
But there's some good Yankee humor in the, hey, we're not getting Juan Soto, but let's go back to when we do.
Yeah. Well, now because if you have me off Walker, which I can be talked every which way right now. Right now, you're the current breeze of my brain, and I'm off Walker
breezing.
and I'm on Bregman.
We're on breezing.
You got me. Okay. Is there a way you do Bregman, Soto, Bregman, and Santana? Does the money work?
I think you can still get around there with a Stroman dump.
Dump some amount of Stroman. You wouldn't have, in Jake's plan, you wouldn't have the Bellinger 26 and change mil anymore.
So I just did Soto, Bregman, Santana, and that's all.
Right.
Oh, hold on. I'm on the old sheet that has the old non-tendered contract bullshit.
Bullshit.
Bullshit. Come on, Jim. Use Google Sheets one time in your stinking life.
Try it.
God damn it.
Nope.
I'm there.
He's here.
We're hip. We're cool. Okay, so I just added those three, 46, 25, which I think is light. Some of the fan graphs have Bregman at 27, but if you do another year, you might be able to get down. Santana, 8. We have 16 mil left to play, and we got those three guys.
You want World Series? You want playoff dogs?
Well, I just like the infield. Santana's really good at first. Like that would make Volpe the worst infielder of the four at their positions.
I guess just what's
You
the...
could argue for any of them.
You'd have 4 Gold Glovers.
So if...
You'd have a Gold Glover at third, Bregman.
What's the outfield in that exercise? Because Judge stays in center, or it's Judge, Dominguez, Soto.
Yeah, but you've built room for
Right.
Dominguez. So Dominguez, Judge, Soto,
You can get through Dominguez's growing pains.
Bregman, Volpe, Jazz, Santana. Now Santana's a 1-year deal.
Right.
Beebs, if you go to the Jomboy no Soto, yeah, that's what. Yeah, I have it mapped out.
I found it.
Yeah,
Took me a minute.
that's what it is, Jake. Now,
Oh, that's
obviously,
nice.
we're Yankees
That's
fans
pretty.
dreaming. Yeah,
Right.
my brain has to like see things,
That's pretty.
so I built this for myself.
Sure.
Obviously, we're just dreaming here.
I like that you merge Judge's boxes in center.
Had to.
It's nice.
Yeah,
He's big.
Nice touch.
I think I had a long name there.
Because in theory,
And I
it'd be in
didn't
the
wanna
same spot.
Yeah, but I think I had like
He
Dominguez
covers
there,
ground.
and then when Dominguez not merged, or no, there was some reason I did it. Oh, I had Dominguez slash. I had a slash,
Oh, okay.
and that was too big for one
gotcha.
Looks
box.
funky.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean the only thing here is that the pitching essentially goes untouched, which I know that's a big concern of yours.
Well, I still, you can find a trade. Like if you look at the starting pitchers that are going to be on the trade block next year. I just had this open. The fuck is it? It'll be 2026 MLB free agents. Starting pitchers. There's a decent amount that are on teams that I think will be traded. So yeah, I mean you're shoring up defense and offense so thoroughly.
Yeah,
And it's also we're little kids dreaming, playing with fake castles.
We're
Right.
playing a literal
Bregman
game.
and Soto.
and I think
Do them in one deal, motherfuckers.
I think if we're what was it? I think if we're doing that, Jones, if not Jones and Dominguez, kind of have to become expendable. And whether that's for a Jesus Luzardo or someone to boost the rotation, like those, that has to come into play.
You know, pitchers that might be on the block if their teams don't have a good year. Monty, already on the block. Chris Bassett in Toronto. Chris Sale in Atlanta. That'd be gross looking. Framber, if Houston just blows it. Kodai Senga, Seth Lugo. These are all teams that are probably in it. Well, if Diamondbacks are like out, Gallon.
One of those teams.
If the Cubs are out, Shota. They have a mutual option. Cease. That's a good one, but Padres will surely be in it. Not surely, but I think they will. Ranger Suarez, Phillies tank. A lot of them are in good teams. Herman Marquez. Wow. Fucking all of Arizona is coming off the books next year.
They're out.
Gallen, Kelly,
Yeah.
and Monty. So 3 pitchers. That's a lot of your staff, man.
I don't know if Monty's making it through this offseason.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like he is.
But yeah, I guess the other thing where I'm at with the pitching is
I don't like it come postseason.
you're not going to have okay, Ben Rice proved me wrong, but you're not going to have an offensive breakout guy. Like, it's very rare. It doesn't happen a lot. Rachel to Ross. But like, you can have a pitcher, like we just saw Luis Heel, going back to when Nestor broke out for the Yankees. But like, Will Warren could have taken a step this offseason, or another AAA pitcher that I can find innings. Clayton Beater could take a step this offseason and be the guy and make Joey Gallo worth it. That at least to get us through the All-Star break, and then if you need to trade for Zach Gallen or whatever stud ends up being available, you can go that route. But I don't think you can really do that with hitting in today's game.
Yeah, you just need Heel and Clark to step up from where they were, which Heel's rookie of the year.
Or even stay healthy.
Clark's getting deeper into his younger years. Like,
Yeah.
he's not really a rookie young kid. Like, I need you to go 6 innings.
Yeah.
Rodon and Cole also struggled to go 6 innings. Like, I'd love another pitcher in the postseason that I can, like, unequivocally say he's going to give us 5.
It would also be nice if, at regular season concerns here, but, we only got 17 starts out of Cole last year, and half of those were, like, rehabbing on the fly. So,
Yeah,
like,
I hope he's
if you
healthy
get a
and
full
strong.
season of Cole, that already gives you, like, 16 starts, like 20 starts you didn't have last year.
Full Yankees fans dreaming.
Full Yankee fan streaming. Subscribe.
What is your lineup in our dream scenario now? I mean, Soto is 2 and Judge is 3. And who's your 4? I mean, would you switch that up, lefty righty?
This is the non-belly team.
Yeah, we don't have enough. You could take away Santana's $8 million and then have Belly be there, and then Belly plays first.
Available in the
First
outfield
or
if you
outfield.
need 'em.
I think you'd want a little more flexibility. But
Yeah, that ties up the money. Yeah, who's your leadoff guy?
I forget who's on this team because this was your hybrid team.
It's the hybrid team. Bregman, not a good leadoff guy, I don't think. But Volpe is. When I was like, who's their leadoff hitter next year, and I was searching, I was like, fuck, they're just gonna stick Volpe.
want-
right?
Yeah,
want
they're,
it to be
they're
him.
going to try.
Especially
Jazz
if
has
Soto's
leadoff
back, because then it's righty
experience.
lefty.
Volpe, Jazz. Yeah, I mean, in this example, and it's part of the reason. And I know he's not the biggest on base guy, and that would be problematic. It's why I do end up falling into Luis Robert sometimes, just how electric the top of that lineup would be. But I don't know for those kind of on base percentages, like
I mean, Santana's
Jazz.
switched, so you'd have to put him somewhere.
I think he got a couple games in the leadoff spot last year for Minnesota. Not that that's prototypical.
Jazz would be lefty. I mean, I just put Volpe there. I guess that's what they're gonna fucking do.
Yeah.
And then
Under this construction, I think opening day,
And
they
then
would start with that.
Stanton, Bregman, Judge is 3 righties. Santana's got to break those up somewhere, or Wells. Because you have Jazz, Wells.
Would it be flip Judge Soto for left-right stuff?
Maybe.
They didn't do it all last year, I guess, so I
Right.
wouldn't. It's hard to predict them doing something they didn't do, but
These are your lefty/switch options. You have to sprinkle them in. It's funky.
Lead off Bregman.
He doesn't see pitches.
He didn't with last year.
Yeah, I think he. Yeah, I don't know if that's the Houston way or his way.
In previous seasons, he had a pretty 2022 and 2023, where he played 155 and 161 games before the postseason, he had a 364 on base. Glaber, I mean, it's a slightly upgraded Glaber.
Yeah.
I mean,
Higher ceiling.
Bregman, Soto, Judge, that's pretty. A little spit on me.
Yeah. Let's see. How many pitches did he? India was a good leadoff guy. I kind of liked that dream until it died.
I mean, Bregman in 2022, dude. Yeah, Houston last year was out of control. In 2022 and 2023, Bregman had more walks than strikeouts.
Pretty good. Yeah.
Houston let off Bregman 7 times this year.
I think you're kind of buying low on Breggy. He won the Gold Glove last year.
Yeah. He never sees a lot of pitches per plate appearance, but it seems to not matter with the stats you're providing. So it doesn't matter. So sure, put him leadoff in our dream scenario here. All right. Guys that I put on my list that we didn't want, that people might be wanting out there, like Alonso. That doesn't scratch a new itch for me.
And just big picture, we've been saying this around the office and stuff. They passed on all those shortstops. They passed on Harper. They passed on Machado. In this scenario, they aren't getting Soto for today's purposes. Just assign Alonso, who's locked into first base DH at 31.
It just can end up being so ugly, and it's no shot at Pete, but it's a Yankee thing.
No, it's
a Judge
Yankees
stand.
did all
It's
that.
a righty
front office.
power hitter. The first base defense would be nice, but yeah, I'm searching for lefties, switch hitters, and defensive versatility. So that's actually scary that Alonso is like what the Yankees get. Righty power with limited defensive ability. Not limited defense in positions. I know he's good at first. So yeah, that didn't really scratch an itch for me.
Teoscar and Santander, it's a little bit of same, but different, but Teoscar's righty only. So if you're building a balanced Yankees team, the lean there is Santander.
Santander.
Should've
Teoscar.
said his name more, but
From all reports, Dodgers are not in on Soto, and they're in on Teoscar, but I don't believe any reports right now.
Yeah.
But I think Teoscar's going to go back to the Dodgers. Evaldi, he's a pitcher that I would like on the team, but 20 mil in both plans ate up too much room for other stuff. And I think because of the Kikuchi signing, his projected 20 mil AAV for Evaldi is actually going to be like 23 or something, because Kikuchi went above the crowd results.
with his injury stuff, I guess you could get like funky on like innings-based bonuses or something.
At any point in
But
this,
it's
did
any
you?
guy.
Could have been an Angel slide overpay on Kikuchi too. So we'll
Yeah.
see.
At any point, did you say Glaber? Like, ooh, maybe Glaber comes back?
I thought about it, but no.
Yeah.
No. That's those parties need to go their separate ways.
What about Tyler O'Neill? Did he come up in your brain at all? All
Not
outfield
really,
positions,
man. I mean,
righty?
to pay that money, I'd rather find out what Dominguez is. You know,
That's where, like,
O'Neill's got
righty
injury
only.
history too,
Then-
and he's righty.
the non-Soto plan, when I wasn't on Bregman and I was like looking at all these guys, I was like, that's a lot of money for not a sure thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you've
Yeah,
converted
That
me.
gets me as excited as just getting Soto back.
It feels like the Yankees are going to have an interesting starting pitcher sign this offseason, whether it's
Lorenzen.
Walker Buehler. And that's honestly one of those guys would really fit. Lorenzen or Turnbull, guys that can start, that can relieve. I just think the Yankees, and they're partially right to think so, they believe they can tap into dudes, and they kind of can. So I would love someone to pair with Luke Weaver to say, like, game's over. It's the 7th inning. Weave Dog's coming out for 2, 1.1. Here comes the closer. If that doesn't happen, I understand why, but I would like that.
So you guys let us know what you like.
What do you like?
I want Soto back.
Yeah, it was a weird head tilt of like kind of where I started, but you're like, okay, 46 mil just opened up. This should be easy. And it's like, oh no. You've created more problems.
Kind of throwing money with less like assurance.
Yes.
That's why I pivoted to be like, just give me a sure thing and go get a stud pitcher. Let me double up.
Right.
Which I still am fine with that thought process.
It gives you a team strength.
But
Nothing wrong with making a current strength stronger.
yeah. But yeah, I like our dream scenario where we get Soto and Bregman and Santana, and now we have Gold Glovers at every infield position. Boom. Somewhat of a brutal outfield defensively.
Yeah, that's where I gotta be honest with you. That Belly Robert Judge outfield with essentially this is the same infield I had. It's like, wait, the Yankees could be a fantastic defensive team.
But no Soto. So you're out on Soto. You want your plan?
No.
Okay.
I'll take Soto. I'll take first baseman Soto. What'd you say?
Ooh, all right. Hey, guys, thanks very much for tuning in. Appreciate you. I'll be in Australia, so if he signs during some time of the day, maybe I call in to the show. Otherwise, you guys got it. Just sign, Soto.
Sign.
Come back. Whatever. You going to go to the Mets? First person ever to turn down the Yankees for the Mets? Come on.
Joe's McFly.
Has that happened? Joe keeps telling me it's never happened before, but I don't have, I'm not an encyclopedia.
The only name I heard thrown out was when Granderson signed with the Mets, but I don't think the money.
I think
was
Yankees
there.
were
Yeah.
done having him.
Yeah.
I don't know. The answer's no. It's like brilliant by Joe's. It's when he has his moments where it's like that argument would hold up in court.
I think so, yeah.
So comment if somebody ever left the
No
chose the Mets
player
over the Yankees.
has been offered the same money by the Yankees and Mets and chosen the Mets.
Who's a player that came to the Yankees on a 1-year deal, and then the Yankees tried to re-sign them? Zach Britton, they traded for him, and then they signed him. They do it with Ichiro, or did they just have him for 2 years?
I think they re-signed him. Yeah.
That's the other thing I was thinking. Like, have the Yankees ever traded for someone to bring him in, and then go to
Giving them the taste.
and then want them back?
Right.
And they didn't choose them. Todd Frazier went to the Mets, but I don't think the Yankees didn't offer him a contract. I don't believe.
Yeah.
That's another exercise I was trying to see if we can map out.
Could they trade for
Next
with
thought.
like kind of the intention of giving a taste of the org?
Yeah. All right. Goodbye. Farewell. Go Yanks. Tell them, Grams.
Go Yankees.
Comment all kinds of things.
I like Cam.
Benintendi. They took way more money from the White Sox. The Yanks were
Took
Took an extra year.
They were like rumored to be in on him, right?
Extra 2
but
years,
not
I
like
think.
they wanted him.
Yeah.